I want to talk to you about a lesson that we're teaching our kids that isn't taught in school, that they're learning through real life responsibility and just opportunities that we intentionally create. Recently, as we flew to Ontario, I flew with the four children by myself, as John is going to join us later, but shh, don't tell anybody. Anyway, this time as we flew, I gave our oldest, who's 9, Theo, the responsibility of leading us through the airport. I gave him the boarding passes and I said, Theo, it's up to you, Ed. You got to get us to our gate. You got to get us on our plane, let us know where we sit. And we're not going to do anything. Mommy's not going to help you. And it was such a cool moment to see him take the lead, take responsibility, and feel emboldened and empowered to be able to just lead us. And so it was very cool from the moment that we started and we entered the airport. He looked to where we have to go, where's the gate agent for the airline that we're boarding with, and he went up to them and he gave the boarding passes and my passport. And when she asked to lift the luggage, I needed to help him a bit because I packed 50-pound bags. And so that's pretty much the same weight as Theo. And he helped me get them on the scale. And she tagged them and then shared with us what gate we would be at and where security was. And then he proceeded to lead us there. And as we arrived, so crazy. Adults always assume that only the adult has those responsibilities, but he passed the boarding passes over to the security agent, who then went to proceed to say, oh, you are looking after the family tonight, sir. And he's like, yeah, I've got this. And so fun. Yeah, just lessons around responsibility as we go through security, and Theo has to guide everything. And I just think about the opportunities that we steal from our children when we choose to do everything for them, when we choose to eliminate any challenges that they have and don't give them the chance to grow up and take responsibility and ownership and be able to solve problems. And Jonathan and I are very intentional about this and purposeful because we are excited to one day allow him the opportunity to go on an airplane by himself, maybe to go visit grandma or visit papa or whatever, and to know that he feels capable, because building and raising capable kids is not by accident. It's very intentional. Capable kids is not something that just comes naturally, because naturally we want to take away any of the challenges that our children experience, which of course doesn't build their resilience, doesn't build their toughness, their bounce back ability, their no excuses determined attitude. And so I was just so proud seeing Theo's face when he gave the boarding passes to the agent at the gate and found our seats on the plane and directed where we're sitting. I was proud of him because he'd never done that before. He was a passenger. And I think that relates so often to life, how easy as adults that we can become passengers and we just kind of go along with whoever's leading the ship, whoever's directing us and telling us what to do. And I just truly believe that if you want children that are capable of doing amazing things in this world, then you have to encourage them when they're younger to take on more responsibility. And obviously, flying in an airport and directing through the airport, navigating all of that isn't what happens every day, but it's an opportunity to build their confidence, just like ordering at a restaurant. I know we have our children, whether it's Theo, Elliot, or Ollie Jack, order at a restaurant for the whole table when we go out to eat, which we don't go out to eat to restaurants too often because we personally don't bring screens to a restaurant, which for those of you that have a large number of children or any or even one, know that sometimes a 45-minute to an hour endeavor in a restaurant isn't always easy to entertain your children, to sit in the booth or on the chairs. Although my really good friend in Arizona, she taught me the trick that instead of choosing a booth, which I always just do naturally thinking it'll contain them, choose the big like regular chairs like a table. And I was like, that's so counterintuitive. She's like, just try it, because when they're in a big chair they just feel like they need to be big like like an act older and more responsible. And I tried it, and she was right. So I'm very grateful for her for that tip. But yeah, when we go out to restaurants, our children are the ones ordering. They're ordering on behalf of us. And it's very interesting because not everybody is patient with children learning new skills. Oftentimes, we're in such a hurry in our world today that we just want to rush them through it. I know we were at a restaurant a few months back, and Theo was ordering, and the waiter, he just seemed so impatient and irritated that Theo was going around and say, I'd like whatever it was he was ordering. I don't even remember where we were eating. And the waiter looked at me to be like, can you just tell me? And I'm like, no, I can't. My son's going to order on our behalf, and you're going to wait. Like, essentially, not happening. And I think that's an opportunity where, as parents, we can advocate for our kids and also undergird them and support them through those moments. Because if we always just take away the challenge, which is like, we've done this a million times, we can do it with ease and with speed, then how are they going to build the confidence to do it themselves? And so for us, I just think about the lessons that our kids are learning when we give them the opportunities to be big and be responsible, and obviously with discernment in that. However, there's so many things that our kids are capable of if we allow them the opportunity. And even this summer, when it comes to like a fishing rod and stuff like that, teaching them about safety when it comes to that, and the hook, and making sure when they cast there's nobody around them so nobody gets a hook in the eye and things like that. But given the opportunity that we're not always saying be careful, like you just watch out, or you can't do that, and being so fearful that they might mess up that we don't give them the chance to do it right. Because when they do, they're just so proud of the abilities that they have. And I think that's something that we all can be reminded of, because when we grew up throughout however we were educated, whether that's public school, private school, homeschool, I think depending on how we were taught, we were encouraged not to be bad at something. Like, if you're not good, then you shouldn't be doing it. Whereas I really do believe that you need to do things that you suck at in order to get better. And I'm not saying you devote all your time to the things you're awful at, but still taking time to do hard things. And that's one of the mantras in our family, that Stockdales do hard things. We don't just give up at the first sign of difficulty. We're going to persevere and get back up. And I think sometimes, thinking about it, when I was younger, if I wasn't naturally good at something, I didn't want to do it. I was kind of like, nah, I'm going to stick to the things that I'm naturally good at. And that does not teach resilience. That teaches kind of a defeatist mindset, that we assume that if we are not naturally gifted, that it's not our quote unquote cup of tea. And how are we going to become excellent in any area if we don't first start where we're at? If we don't start with the messiness and the ugliness of falling down and getting back up. I think about all of my kids learning how to bike ride. Obviously, Liberty's not quite there yet, but my boys, none of them were just naturally gifted. Like, you aren't. You figure it out. You fall down. Daddy holds the back seat for you and guides you along while you get your balance. Same with swimming. Like, all three of our boys, we were very blessed that they were able to take ISR swim training when we were in Arizona, and now they're very confident swimmers. But it's so interesting to me that society in general caters to like an age requirement instead of an ability, because our children are quite capable of swimming great lengths. They do triathlons and things like that. I'm very confident in water because of the training that we instilled in them and what they learned when they were younger with the ISR training. But sometimes when people are around children, they just assume if you're under this age, then you should be wearing a life jacket. And that mindset is just assuming that we can't build capability beyond this elusive number of whatever age we've decided makes you capable. So even going back to my story about the airport, like, Since when is only kids that are above 16 capable of guiding themselves through an airport? Or since when is only like 18 and above capable of ordering at a restaurant? Or all of these things. And I know some of these are silly, but we truly do want to raise capable kids that take responsibility and take ownership. And that's why they do help out with chores and responsibilities. They're learning their nighttime routines right now, and they're mastering them so that they can do it without reminders. All three boys are working on their steps every single night of what they need to accomplish in order to go to bed, and they don't need mommy and daddy to be on them every single minute. And I think that that just brings ease into your family and peace, because especially with a family of multiple children, it's like chaos if they are not taking ownership. You want kids that, when you say, okay, it's getting ready for bedtime, let's start our routines, that they just go and they begin doing the things they know they need to do. They brush their teeth, they're getting their jammies, they do their gratitude journal, they read, all of the things. Anyway, whatever your evening routines will be. But I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful as well when it comes to meals that our children know that they help, whether it's in the preparation. Theo loves helping in the kitchen, and so does Liberty, or whether it's in setting the table or cleaning up after. Yes, we're their mom and their dad, but we're not there to take care of them every step of the way when it comes to things that they're capable of doing. And we're just big believers, Jonathan and I, that when you want to raise kids that have confidence and they're capable and responsible in the world, you have to empower them and embolden them from a young age to do the things they're able to do, and to encourage them, come alongside them, help them do it at first, and then give them the chance to figure it out with encouragement. And when they fail, help them figure it out to do it better the next time. And I just think about all the opportunities that our children have because we allow them to fail. We allow them to fall down. We allow them to dust off and get back up. And we just don't protect them from challenge, because challenge is where we really grow, and that's where character is defined and where it's forged. It's in the difficulties in life, and where none of us are getting through this life without them. And if you haven't already experienced them with them, which I'm sure you have, they're coming. And so we certainly don't want to protect them and bubble wrap our children from experiencing difficulty. And that's why we allow our kids to have quarrel and difficulty and disagreement amongst each other, because they'll figure it out together with mom and dad's support, of course, so that they can um, navigate more challenging disagreements so things don't get too riled up. We do have three boys and a daughter that is very much like her mom. I also have three older brothers, so I have a little spunkiness in me as well. I just am very grateful. What areas are you teaching your kids to be responsible in? What are you doing to encourage them to take ownership and, yeah, build their capability and their abilities to be independent? Because we want to build independent kids. I'd love to hear.